Hi grade 3/4s. Okay, so now that you have managed to get into TinkerCAD following my last instructions, we're now going to start by making ourselves a new model. So this is my desktop with all of my things in my gallery. These are all different things I've made in the past. We need to start from the beginning, so I'm going to click on Create New Design. It's here. Okay, so it's going to open up a workplane. This workplane here is my build surface. Okay, so if I was going to print something, my model has to be stuck to the surface here. This is what my printer would use, the 3D printer in the room would use to print onto. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by giving our model a name. Okay, we're going to start off with my name tag. Okay, so we think you might have seen different kinds of name tags around that other people have made, and we're actually going to make something a bit different today. So what you're going to do is, this is your selection of different shapes. I want you guys to all click on basic, where it says basic shapes, and you're going to go down and you're going to choose text and numbers, and there it is. Click on that, and now I've got all the different letters of the alphabet, and I want you to have a go at spelling your own name. So I'm going to start by clicking and holding and moving the letter M. M for Mr. Okay, and I'm going to go down and find the next letter, click and drag, move it there, move it next door. Okay, and then I'm going to find the P. The P might be on the second page. Oh no, the P's there. Okay, but there is a second page. If you happen to have other letters in your name, you click on number 2 there, and you've got a few different characters. You've got the other letters of the alphabet, and you've got numbers, and you've got some other characters, and at, exclamation mark, question mark. But for now I just need the normal letters of the alphabet, so I'm going to keep spelling my name, click and drag, move those letters across just roughly to where they need to be. Okay, I'm not spending too long worrying about exactly lining them up, we'll do that in a minute. And it doesn't matter really what colours they are, because thinking back to how we print, when you print you get to choose, at least on our printer, you get to just choose one colour. So whatever colours these letters are, okay, you can change the colours of course, that's fine. Click on one and then click up here and you can change the colour, so you can change what it looks like. And that might be useful if you're making a model for a game or augmented reality or virtual reality or something, so the colours might matter. If you're making a Minecraft character, that's fine. But when you're printing, the colours don't come out. You just choose whatever colour plastic that you'd like to print with, and that's what you'll get. So what I'm going to do, now I've got my letters, they're just really roughly kind of organised. I'm actually now going to go along and overlap them all a little bit. Okay, again, don't worry about them being lined up particularly well, just make sure they all overlap a bit, alright, because if they don't overlap, right, then your letters are going to be left behind. Your sort of lettering won't print off properly if we were to print it. Okay, so right, if my K wasn't joined and I pressed print, then that would print as one thing and these would all print separately. So you have to kind of join them all up a little bit. Okay, so they don't have to be overlapping loads, just enough to make them kind of strong, like a strong group. Right, enough of it needs to overlap so that, you know, if knocked around in your pocket, that your lettering will kind of survive. It won't break, it won't snap. If things are only joined by a tiny little scrap like this, then you might find that your lettering breaks apart. So they need to be kind of grouped together enough. Oh, let me try that again. They need to be grouped together just enough so that it does work. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm now going to change the height of my letters. So at the moment they're all the same thickness. You can see that there. Okay. To change your view like I'm doing now, if you click and hold the right mouse button and move it around, you'll see that I can look underneath and above and around the sides. Okay, if you don't have a mouse and you're just using your laptop, then you can just use the bottom right hand corner of your trackpad. Click, hold, and use your other hand to move the sort of the pointer around, and you'll be able to see that your view changes. To zoom in and out, you can use these mouse buttons here. Okay. Otherwise, you can actually use this square, this cube up here, to turn and look at your model in different ways as well. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to change the height of my letters. So I'm going to make them a bit random height. Okay, I don't need them all to be the same height. I don't want them all to be the same height. I'll make it more interesting if they're not. Okay, so you can see that I'm just grabbing, right? Just grabbing the middle white square. It's called a pull handle. Okay, so I'm grabbing that pull handle, pulling it up a little bit, just every other one, and making a few that are different heights. So I've raised a few. I don't want to go too much thinner, because if I go really skinny, then your model's going to break. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave some of them the same and make some of them a bit taller. Okay, now what I need to do, and I had to select them all. Okay, and I'm going to click on this button up here. It says align, or I could press the letter L as well. Once I've selected, I can press the letter L, and it gives me these little black dots. What I want to do is I want my model to be lined up. Remember how I didn't really spend a lot of time lining up the bottom of my letters? Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just click on the black dot just here, and that's going to line them all up nicely for me. Okay, so I want it to be a bit up and down, bumpy. I think it'll make it more interesting. And I'm going to click up here. I'm going to go back to basic shapes, and I'm going to go down. I'm going to select this one here. This says torus, but it's a bit like a rubber ring, isn't it? Okay, I'm just going to make it a lot smaller. Okay, and give it lots more sides, lots of steps. Now I need to make it quite a lot skinnier. Okay, I'm going to bring it over. Okay, so I'm just going to change my view just for a second. Just going to move across, zoom in a bit. So I need this to be overlapping as well, because if this isn't touching my lettering properly, then I'm not going to be able to clip it onto anything. Right, so I have to make sure that this bit here itself is strong enough to be able to, I don't know, put a chain through or a little clip through or something to be able to clip it onto my bag. Okay, so I can have that. Now, if I decided I was going to be smart, I could bring this up here, but when it prints, right, this whole shape is going to be printing in midair. It's going to be printing onto nothing, which is just going to mean it doesn't work. It means it's just going to print lots of spaghetti underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that does stay properly on the build plate. Okay, it means that it'll print nicely from there and everything should work. And what I can do, if I want to, I can select it all and I can press group, but I actually don't have to. If I want to keep my colours on my model the same as they are now, I'm just going to leave it. That's my model finished. Okay, because as soon as I click select and group, it's going to turn all of my lettering into one colour, ready for the printer. Alright, but I actually think it looks nicer just left like that. So that's the end of lesson 1. Have a go for yourself and let me know by email how you got on.